an explanation of our TV show. The show is comprised of a series of our short films. About our lives. Then there are shorter interstitial films, laced throughout. All of these elements are combined, and that's the TV show. So this is episode 6, and in this episode, basically 2 things happen. In the Dean movie, we go snowboarding, and in the Joe movie, we go to a football game. So we'll start with this one.
Welcome to New York.
Dean! 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 Dean with poison ivy. Dean is the youngest of the Neistat brothers clan, and I don't really know him that well. He's 8 years younger than me. Dean is the star of our family, and here's why. Dean was a high school tennis champion. He's also a college graduate. Casey and I are both dropouts. Also, Dean took this picture of Air Force One. That's the president descending those stairs. It's not that easy to take a photo of Air Force One, but Dean is juiced into the organization. Here's Dean delivering the president's limo. But Dean ain't no limo driver. Dean flies the heavies. This is Dean's jet, the C-17 Globemaster III. It can carry 171,000 pounds. He can ship Abrams' tank in this thing. He's the pilot, which means he's the head motherfucker in charge of a $258 million aircraft. He's 24 years old.
Charleston, South Carolina.
Dean flies from his base in Charleston, South Carolina, across the ocean to Iraq or Afghanistan direct. No layovers. And yes, he's been in the shit. Dean is on leave for 10 days, and we've been planning this trip since we were little kids. I've wanted to come here since I started snowboarding in 1989 with a $100 snowboard that I washed dishes to buy. Thank you. Peter!
Hey, look at this guy.
You been here the whole time?
It's our brother. Steve, why don't you give us a weather report?
Well, I opened up my thermometer to show the camera.
Or just keep it short.
All right, well, it's fucking cold.
We met these guys on the bus to the mountain on our second day. Turned out they lived 1 block from Casey's apartment. Of course, we had never met them in New York. Like us, they learned to ski and ride in Vermont. But Wyoming is a different story. On our third day, one of us came up with a really stupid idea. So, we're at a lodge called Corbett's Cabin, and Corbett's Kuya, is that what it's called? Is this nasty, gnarly drop-in, like a 10 or 15 foot cliff down a very steep ravine. And these guys are gonna fucking do it, I think. Corbett's was fucking dangerous. I don't even get it. I guess you drop in from here and then boom. Look at that thing. Case, what's going through your mind?
I don't know how good of an idea this is. But, bring it in. Bring it in. Let's say the same thing. Whoa, Corbett!
Secretly, I did not want these guys to do it. Here, I found this YouTube video to show you what they were up against. This is not us.
Oh! Oh, fuck!
So, the full number again? 307. This is me recording the Ski Patrol phone number into my camera, just in case. 739. And after that, I made my way down to the edge of the chute. And for some reason, nobody was dropping in. What happened, Case?
It's closed.
You can see that buried little gate. That means it's closed. Read it.
In memory of 2 ski patrollers who lost their lives on the mountain, Ranger Tom Raymer and Mr. D, Paul Driscoll. 2 boards upon cold powder snow. What else does a man need to know?
CPR. By the time Dean was 10, Casey and I had moved out of the house, and our sister Jordan shipped off to UMass a short while after that. So Dean spent his teenage years alone in the house as our parents' marriage fell apart. This was our first experience together as men. We were hit by a blizzard on our last day. The ski patrol shut down the mountain. On our way to this lodge, Dean actually saved a guy's life. Or at least I think he did. The guy must have been about 65 or so, and he had fallen into a tree well, head first, and was in the snow. And Dean dug him out. We skied down to this lodge about halfway up the mountain and hung out with a bunch of children for a few hours. Dean and Casey went out and played in the 80-mile-per-hour wind. Casey and I are back in New York now, and once again, we miss Dean. The storm followed Casey and me to Chicago, where layover. We met a soldier who was leaving the country for the first time in his life. I'm helping a real soldier with his bag. My brother Dean says we can take off in this stuff. He flies big jets. A couple weeks after our Jackson Hole trip, Casey and I drove from Arizona to Los Angeles. We're gonna go through like crap through a goose! We're at the General Patton Museum. Just recently, we found out that Dean will be deployed to the Middle East this summer. He'll have to leave Charleston. We're not very happy about that.
Found footage. So I was rifling through my old tapes, looking for video of my son as a baby for the movie about Joe. And I found a tape labeled Airplane Owen.
Is this a car?
Is this a choo-choo?
No.
What is it?
It's an ear swing.
Where's the dada?
Yeah.
It was footage from when I took Owen flying for the first time. It was his 2nd birthday. What an amazing boy. But then on that same tape, I found some footage I didn't realize I had. It was from the morning of September 11th, 2001, when I woke up in my apartment to a plane flying into the World Trade Center 1 block away. When I looked out the window, I saw paper falling and people running. I got on my bike, riding past white sheets that were covering bodies.
Plane stop.
Get out of here, man.
I biked 20 blocks to Van's apartment, and we spent the day at the hospital unloading ambulances. This is as freaked out as I have ever been. There comes a point in a man's life when you have to choose between pursuing your dreams and middle-class security. Both are noble paths. Middle-class security, a job, a house, a car, and the respect that comes with all of that. Pursuing your dreams is full of uncertainty and usually comes with a lot of scrutiny from the people close. But when your life's focus is on your dreams, there's no end to the possibilities. Meet Joe. Joe is and has been my best friend since childhood. This is Joe and me when we were 13 years old. Those shirts are fucking... And this is Joe rollerblading. And that's me. I think we were about 18 here. Joe and I had a plan for after high school. Entirely inspired by Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber, Joe and I were going to get a van and move to Colorado. But when we were about 16, these plans got all fucked up. I dropped out of high school, ran away from home, and had a kid. I ended up living in a trailer park in a different town. Joe was kind of on his own, enjoying his last years in high school, partying, hanging out with friends, doing all that stuff teenagers do.
There's the devil to pay when high school Hellcats and high school hotshots get together on an anything goes party.
My remaining years as a teenager were spent raising my boy. This is when I caught Owen eating the Ovaltine from a can with a wooden spoon. I was only 17, but I loved being a dad. I embraced my life. Living in a trailer park, working in a restaurant, it was who I was. Then Owen's mom dumped me, and my whole organized little life got all messed up. I went to visit my brother Van in New York City. He had just spent his tax return on a computer and a video camera. So we made a movie about us running around the city. It was at this moment that I decided to let go of my middle-class security and pursue my dreams. The pursuing your dreams really worked out well for me, but this story is about Joe. Joe still lives in that town in Connecticut. He works in the restaurant that I worked in before I left. He's got a sweet car, a nice little house, and a big screen TV. I live a very different lifestyle from my best friend, but we're both happy. That's Joe standing up and me sitting next to him at a Patriots football game. Van and I have been trying to figure out a way to bring Joe into the fold, to make him a part of what we're doing. Trying to show him what it's like to do whatever the fuck you want whenever you want to do it. How old are you there, Joe?
It's about 6.
We invited him to come skiing in Jackson Hole, but he couldn't get the time off of work. Plus, a ski trip wasn't the punch we were looking for. Then Van and I were up one night watching the play, and we figured out exactly where to take Joe.
Giants are going to the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots and the New York Giants are in the Super Bowl. The two homes that we have had in our entire lives. We lived our entire adult life in New York. We lived our entire childhood in New England.
We had to take Joe to the Super Bowl. My whole life, I've been hearing about how hard it is to get a ticket to the Super Bowl. When Van and I set our minds to do something, we do it. Can stop us. But we didn't need a ticket to what would be the most watched Super Bowl in history. We needed 3 tickets, and we needed them seated together, and the Super Bowl is just over a week away. Now, I'm sure you're expecting a little movie that explains how we got the Super Bowl tickets, so here goes. But don't get too excited. I made one phone call. And the next day I had the tickets. Incredibly, I cannot disclose the details of the transaction. Let's just say we know an important person. That envelope contains the tickets, and Van and I are walking into the restaurant where Joe is currently washing dishes to surprise him. He has no idea that in 3 days, he'll be in Phoenix, Arizona, watching his team, the undefeated New England Patriots, play in the game of the century. Joe, you got a quick second? We gotta talk.
Yeah. You want back?
No, we should do it right here. I got some bad news for you and some good.
Alright.
The bad news is you're gonna have to cancel your Super Bowl party.
I don't think that's gonna happen. What do you got? Are they real?
And I got a plane ticket, Joe. For you and your 2 boys.
Is this a big joke? When are we leaving? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You cease to amaze.
From what I understand, they're pretty good seats too, Joe.
Yeah, so who's going? You're going, Van?
Yup.
Oh my God.
Back to Arizona.
Holy shit.
I can't tell you what it took to get them.
So I need Saturday off, and I need...
Joe was talking to his manager, Jan, about getting the days off from work. He said something I won't soon forget.
Joe.
This could be the day I quit.
How the hell did you get those, Case?
That's the spirit.
Yeah, I got one somewhere else to go to the Super Bowl
It felt
party.
great to watch Joe chain smoke and call his friends to share the news.
Casey got him. I don't know how he got him. He got him. Casey gets everything.
Joe had to get back to the dishes to get back to the city. We were all pretty excited for what was to come.
Going from the bottom of the totem pole to the top of the totem pole, you know? Doesn't get better than this. It's like a Hollywood movie.
See you later, Joe.
All right, guys. Love ya. You're the best.
Joe showed up at our studio in New York the next day, and not since have I seen this kid so happy.
North Super Bowl! I am so pumped! I cannot wait!
We flew out of New York City. Our first layover was in
Pittsburgh.
and then it was straight on to
Phoenix, Arizona.
We are going to the Super Bowl, boys!
We wasted no time. Drove straight to Walmart for supplies.
Joe has informed us about the art of
The art of tailgating. 1 grill, a table, 4 chairs, 2 coolers, an umbrella, charcoal, lighter fluid, aspirin, tongs, trash bags, baby wipes, paper towels, spatula, and a frying pan. 4 premium Walmart steaks, 3 premium Walmart lobsters, 1 case of beer, 1 liter of Jack Daniels, 6-pack of Coke, 8 cans of Red Bull, a case of water, 50 uncooked chicken wings, barbecue sauce, hot sauce, cheese, tortillas, salt, pepper, a pound of butter, and 2 bags of ice. About $600. Understandably, getting lobsters in a landlocked state like Arizona are not cheap.
I just saw a sign in one of the parking lots that said no tailgating, which is not a good sign. Parking guy just let us know that there's no tailgating.
The security card was correct. There was no tailgating allowed in any of the public lots within a 20-mile radius of the stadium. We were instructed to drive outside the no tailgating 20-mile perimeter and take a bus to the game.
No, it's just preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Then, just as we were driving away from the stadium, a little angel named Mr. Schwartz heard our cries for help.
Thank you! This guy just gave us a ticket to park at the hotel.
You go right to the Renaissance Hotel.
Oh, thank you.
The last name, tell him Schwartz.
Schwartz.
We love you, Mr. Schwartz!
If there's one thing I've learned in life, it's that there's always a loophole. The tailgating loophole at Super Bowl 42 was to ignore the public parking lots and head straight for the hotel garage.
I'm right here, and the stadium is right there. There's our tailgate. That's the Super Bowl! That's the...
We spent 4 hours tailgating, and seeing as we were the only ones to figure out how to tailgate, about a half a dozen TV news crews interviewed us. The steak and lobsters were great. Then, after all the beer and whiskey was gone, it was time to head to the stadium.
This is the greatest day of my life. I've been waiting almost 27 years to go to the Super Bowl and see my team. This is unbelievable.
And we're headed in.
The greatest part of going to the Super Bowl is the excitement of being around 70,000 other people who are also going to the Super Bowl. Our seats were great. The game was amazing. I'm not going to go into it because I'm sure you've already seen it on TV. Plus, this movie isn't about a football game, it's about Joe. Look at this guy. But there was something we hadn't really considered. What if the Patriots lost? Van and I didn't give a shit who won, we just wanted to be there with Joe. But Joe wanted his team to win. His life is watching football. He's a super fan. Plus, only God knows how much he'd laid down with his bookie.
And to see history in the making, dude. 19-0. England fucking Patriots. They're gonna go 19-0. The best team in the history of the NFL, and us three are gonna be there to see it!
Then it happened. The unthinkable. The so-called greatest team in history wasn't so great. Joe was devastated.
What happened, Joe?
Fucking lost is what happened. We had one job.
As we were leaving, I caught Joe in the rearview mirror. I wondered what he was thinking. Was he just thinking about the game, or was the whole trip a bust now? No way. This was still the greatest day for all three of us.
Joe, have a good flight home.
Yeah.
We did everything we could to have the Patriots win. They just didn't do it. I wish we could have done more.
Well, it was probably the most enjoyable loss could have been. Good luck in LA.
All right, Joe, so long. Bon voyage.
All right, boys. Thank you. Thank you.
We're at the airport, and Van and I are now driving to LA to go to some important meetings about getting distribution for this TV show.
I have to go to the bathroom really bad.